Hello and welcome to my 4-part series entitled Caregiver Support. Each week in October of 2021, I will be sharing my personal point of view as a caregiver. I will discuss sensitive topics such as cancer, death, mental illness, and other subject matters relating but not limited to caregiving. Please keep in mind that I'm not a medical professional. This entry is solely to share my personal experience in hopes of helping someone else who may be facing similar life situations and are looking for relatable content. This is not to be used as a professional or medical guide. For those of you who are brand new to my podcast or to my YouTube channel or any of my content, hello and welcome. If you do not know, my mom passed away from metastatic breast cancer on June 6th of 2014. And since then, I've been doing my best to share her story intertwined with my own in hopes of helping others who are facing similar life scenarios or personal stories. And I just appreciate that you are taking the time to listen or to watch on YouTube and to learn more about what an amazing person my mom was and how she continues to live on through others. So prior to my mom's cancer diagnosis, my mom and I would enjoy October's pink ribbon campaigns because there were many pink things in the stores. Pink sweaters, shirts, pants, jackets, accessories, and home goods lined the department store shelves. Now this is of course like before just online ordering and everything too. We would actually go to the shopping malls and things like that and be able to enjoy our time just walking around, shopping, things like that. And we like that some of the proceeds went to breast cancer awareness and or research. When we shopped, we felt like we were helping out others and scoring adorable items all at the same time. In November of 2009, my mom had a bump on her chest. She acted like it didn't bother her, but I knew she was worried about it. She ended up going to the doctor, who told her to put a warm compress on the bump. She was advised to have tests run on it, but November was her birthday month. And trust me, my mom, she would have the whole month dedicated to her birthday. It was a big event. And she didn't want to be alarmed over it so that she may enjoy her upcoming 52nd birthday, let alone for it to hinder any of the holiday festivities. Because again, big time into all of the holidays. Like she would go all out. It was amazing. So unfortunately, she ignored her doctor's advice and went about her days. In January of 2010, my mom's bump protruded from her chest. Finally, she caved in and had it tested. She kept telling me that it was nothing to be concerned about, but the results had yet to come in. Days after, her doctor sent her to an oncologist, and I went to the appointment with my mom. She knew it was serious because she's had biopsies and cancer diagnosis done before. But this time, it was stage 3 breast cancer. And I held her hand as the oncologist explained the road that was ahead of her. When the doctor told my mom, "You have cancer," everything went numb for me. I can't even imagine how she felt. It was an abrupt, to-the-point statement. The oncologist left the small room, and my mom and I hugged each other and broke down crying. A nurse came in and explained the details of the treatments that my mom would soon endure. My mom asked a ton of questions, all of which were just a complete blur to me. And I had no idea how to comprehend what just took place, let alone imagine how my mom was feeling. Now, I don't remember how soon after the diagnosis that I began organizing a binder of all that was to take place. I used color coordination techniques and put into chronological order of upcoming appointments, chemotherapy treatments, medication names, doses, and possible side effects, along with doctor names and medical facilities. I kept myself busy by actively doing something that I felt would be helpful for my mom and for myself. About a week and a half after my mom's first chemo cocktail, my mom drove over to Dexter and my house. I don't remember if my husband was home, but I remember I was watching a football game and then the doorbell rang. I opened the door and saw the pained look upon my mom's face. She asked if she could come in, and we walked over to the living room. My mom had a beanie on, which was very unlike her. She began sobbing and said her hair was falling out. While removing the beanie, clumps of chestnut-colored hair fell off of her head and onto her shoulders. Quickly, I collected the hair in hopes of her not seeing how much had fallen off. I should have known better that she'd probably seen worse, but my first thought was to protect her. We hugged and cried, hugged and cried, hugged and cried until our tears ran dry. Instinctively, I hoped that she would shave her head to save her from seeing all the hair falling out. And I was even ready to shave my head with her so that she wouldn't feel alone. She didn't want to have her head shaved and didn't want me to shave my head. So eventually, all of her hair fell off, and she began shopping for wigs and beanies to help her build her confidence. During this phase, I felt completely helpless. I put my focus more on my binder to give me some sense of direction. On top of that, I went to all of my mom's chemotherapy treatments. Even if I couldn't stay for the entire time, I visited and hung out with her as much as possible. I bought a portable DVD player and plugged it into my laptop, and we would watch movies together. If my mom fell asleep during the chemo sessions, I would preoccupy my time by reading a book or writing. Either way, I didn't want to leave her side. I was afraid that if she woke up, that maybe I wasn't going to be there, and I just didn't want her to be alone. Now, during this stage in a diagnosis, my best advice is just to be there for your loved one. Be at as many appointments as you possibly can, but only if they want you there. You have to respect their decisions. So, for example, with my papi, which is my mom's dad, he was much more private when it came to medical matters, and he really didn't want anyone to be there at the appointments. So, unfortunately, when he passed away from a heart attack at age 59, none of us really knew. And because of HIPAA laws, there were restrictions on us being able to get any of the medical diagnosis that were coming or that had happened before he passed. And we pretty much had to leave it up to the autopsy as to what had him or what he had passed away from. So remember that due to HIPAA, there are restrictions on how much will be disclosed to you. My mom and I were each other's confidants, and she signed the waiver for me to have all and any information handed on over to me, including the release of all medical records. Now, this is a personal choice in which you have to be understanding and respectful of your loved one's wishes. It can be tricky because I know some people may want to find out everything with it, but if your loved one does not want that information disclosed, they have every right to not disclose it, and you just have to be respectful of it. Financially help your loved ones by inquiring about different organizations that help to pay for monthly expenses and or medical bills. For those affected by breast cancer, I highly suggest the DONNA Foundation. My mom is just one of the thousands that the foundation assisted. They offer numerous support services along with additional resources that you may find helpful. By researching the specific disease, it may lead to organizations that specialize in assisting those affected by the diagnosis. Now remember, medical bills are not the only thing that you and your loved ones have to be concerned about, especially with your loved ones when they're going through all of this. They have so much on their shoulders already, let alone the financial responsibilities. It can add to the burden. So there are a lot of organizations that are out there or different foundations that will help not only to pay for medical costs, but maybe they pay for rent or the monthly mortgage or electricity, water, regular bills, things along that line. So be on the lookout for that. Start researching, and that way you can feel a sense of helpfulness in the situation and also inform and educate yourself to be able to pass on that knowledge to your loved one who may not be thinking along that line. Anyways, they may just be thinking, I just got to get better, which that's what they should focus in on. So if you can alleviate any of that and maybe help take that pressure off, that would be a great, great help to them and can make you feel a little bit better too. And start getting into the habit of making time for yourself by doing something that you enjoy, whether it be working out, meeting up with a friend, getting your hair done, pretty much anything that will take your mind off of what is going on and provide a positive self-care habit that you will be able to maintain. Find a way to safely release that buildup of worry and stress. For me, writing was my outlet. I journaled, and my husband and I bought a journal for my mom to write in. This way, if there were things that my mom and I needed to vent about but felt unable to tell each other in person, we just wrote them down. Other ways to do this are similar to previously mentioned ideas, such as working out, doing something outside the norm of what you regularly do. This could include activities such as like indoor golf, throwing darts, gardening, going outside for walks, things along that line. If things become too difficult to handle, it's healthy to talk to someone who's knowledgeable in similar life situations, and that can provide a way for you to vent and perhaps offer ways to help you manage the challenging season. I'm a certified life, health, and wellness coach, and am only a message away. Or perhaps you have a close friend who's offered to lend their time and provide you with some additional comfort during this trying time. And if you begin to feel depressed, overwhelmed with thoughts, and unsure of what to do, please seek advice from a licensed therapist. This is a challenging time, not only for your loved one, but also for you. And it's okay to ask for help and to care for yourself. This gives you the strength to carry on and be there for when your loved one needs you. So in October of 2010, the pink ribbon phenomena was no longer just cute shades of pink in shopping malls. This became the symbol of what my mom was battling through. My grandma, my ma, which is my mom's mom, and my great-grandma, which was my mom's dad's mom, if that makes any sense, survived breast cancer. So my mom began to feel more like an enigma and a common symbol of cancer because she lost her hair. She had more of the common telltale signs of someone going through chemotherapy. And my mom no longer enjoyed seeing the pink ribbon gear. She felt that it followed her wherever she went. The glances from strangers and sideways smiles, giving her the sense that everyone knew what she was battling without saying a word. And she hated it just because she didn't want people to take pity on her. She didn't want people to feel bad for her. She was strong. She felt good about herself. She loved her job. She loved her family. She would do anything for anybody. And she just didn't want that pity or the sideways glances or the stares to come from other people. It made her feel worse. So unfortunately, cancer was only in the starting phase. Little did we know just how much control it would have over our lives, let alone discovering what happens when the fear of being a burden becomes a deadly decision. So in next week's part of the series, part 2, I'm going to talk about the port that my mom had surgically placed in, along with her double mastectomy, and it, of course, is going to be from my point of view. I will also cover my mom entering into remission and how much life she had in her upon the arrival of Dexter and my twin daughters. So I just appreciate you all so very much for taking the time to listen. And I just hope that you all can just hug your loved ones a little bit more, as cheesy and cliche as that may sound, but just appreciate the time that you have and with everybody. And if there's anything that is concerning you yourself, maybe you have a bump as well, or maybe there's something that you've been meaning to get checked out and you've just been delaying, or you don't want to be a burden to anyone or anything like that, please, I urge you, go seek some treatment, go to the doctor, go and get it checked out, because my mom's mom, and my great-grandma, like I was saying, my mom's dad's mom, they did everything they were supposed to do. They went to the doctor early. They took the doctor's advice. They got tested and they survived. And obviously, as you all know, my mom did not, because she waited and she didn't want to be a burden to others. So please, you are not a burden. You are loved. You are amazing. You are worthy of everything that this life has to offer. And your loved ones and your friends, family, everyone that is around you, they love you and they want you to live a long, happy, successful life too. So do it for them. Do it for yourself. And if your loved one is going through a difficult time, just be there for them and love them and just ask them how you can help. And if they're as stubborn as my mom was, or as I am, because I am quite stubborn too, pick up on little clues. Just find little ways to help and just to be there for them, and just tell them how much that you appreciate them and how much that you love them. And thank you all so very much for just all of your constant love and support. And until next time, I appreciate you jamming with me.